Hello there! Chatbots and voice assistants are one of the most important tools in today's and especially in tomorrow's world, but who are the people behind them, the conversation designers? My name is Eran Soroka, head of marketing for CoCoHub.ai, and today, for the first time in today's episode, I'm having a person that incorporated a bot into his own name, which is also his company name. So welcome, Jim Rowe, aka Jim Rowe Bot.
Lovely to be here, and thanks for reaching out. I always like to talk about conversational design. I'm a bit of a bore when it comes to building chatbots.
That's what Taking Turn is all about. So how did you become a conversation designer?
Well, I think like a lot of people today, it's quite accidental. I think going forward now, as it's become more of a job role, we'll see more people that choose to become conversational designers, but I think most of us have fallen into that. When I originally started exploring chatbots, it was really the domain of computer scientists, and it was all around machine learning and AI, something I knew very little about. But over the years, I've seen how that's got democratized. I was working in marketing. I saw opportunities to use chatbots to turn website visitors into paying customers. And from there, I really focused in on conversational design. I got hooked, really. I was never into copywriting, but conversational design, it's the joy of being able to take a customer down a conversation to and deliver a result for a business, and the data that the businesses get from that, which they often underrate.
You've been in this field for almost a decade and a half. What's the most substantial breakthrough that made chatbots such a necessity?
Well, I think a few things. I think the democratization helps. I think it's much easier for now for people to learn the basics. When I started, it was reading a lot of articles, watching a lot of videos, but it was very high-end, machine learning, AI, scientific stuff. But now there is so many resources out there. It's so much easier. You can go and do a conversational design course now, which was never a thing. And I also think the kind of low code, no code option really opens the door for many people. And really, I think defines the role of a conversational designer. So it's no longer the domain of the techie to be the conversation designer. That person now, I'd say more so they're a conversational copywriter, effectively. They're a behavioral analyst. They really get into the shoes of the customer. And I think low code, no code means that anybody can start learning those skills today.
What's the product or the bot that you're most proud of these years?
I suppose I've always got I'm always fond of that first one I ever built. Look at it now, and it was embarrassingly basic. But, that's where I first learned how to do it, and I really enjoyed that process, and that's what got me hooked into conversational design. But I recently did a project for a company that turns over 20 million a year. Their product is sold in 55 countries, and they've been seeing massive growth over the last 2 years, and managing the amount of conversations they were receiving via chat, via email was just overwhelming for them. So to build them a chatbot, NLP chatbot that had over 130 FAQs. When we initially launched, we launched just on Messenger as like our beta. So it was handling a couple of hundred messages a week. And from that, we were able to train the NLP engine. And it was averaging 15-20% correct, which was good, a good start because they didn't have much conversational data. And today, in fact, we were talking yesterday, it's been as high as 49% of conversations handled by the chatbot alone, which is huge for them. And we were already talking about the next phase of the chatbot and how we can increase that conversion. We think we can get somewhere up to 65-70% of all conversations handled by the chatbot without any human assistance.
You're also helping SMEs with social media. Do you feel that the audience will is changing, maybe from being passive consumers to ones that really want to talk with businesses and companies?
Behavior change is definitely happening, but I don't think that is the main driver. I don't think that they're looking at brands. There may be particular high-profile brands, that top 10% that people want to engage with and have a chat with. But for day-to-day brands, I personally think that customers are handing off responsibility to get answers, basically. I think that's where chatbots really assist. People are busy, you know, a young mum, she's busy, she drops the kids off at school, she goes off to her work, over her lunch break, she does some shopping, at the end of the day, speaks to children up, she runs them to the clubs. She has these very small windows in between to get things done that aren't focused perhaps on the children. Or, you know, there's stuff that we all have to do every day, whether it's paying your gas bill or speaking to, you know, your phone company or whatever. And people just don't have the patience to just send an email anymore. What they want to do is they want to start a chat conversation. They want to get straight to the point. They want to get an answer. And if they can't get an answer, they want to hand over responsibility of that issue to that business. And I think that is the main driver. We're all terribly busy. And why would you use chat all day with your friends and family and then choose another medium with the businesses that you operate with? It doesn't make any sense. And I understand businesses find it quite difficult to make that transition over to chat, live chat and chatbots. Working together is beautiful, but they've got to make it because that's what customers expect now. Customers are busy people. They need help making purchasing decisions and they need customer support, and they're going to choose chat.
So why are these SMEs so afraid or deterred, as you said, to go to chatbot? Are they like afraid of handing off the responsibility to an automated thing, or what's behind it?
Oh, there's a million and one reasons not to do something. You know, especially within bigger businesses, it's not until the pain becomes too painful, as in you're losing customers, losing money and getting complaints, that often people make the decision that they need to do it. The businesses that are winning are the ones that have kept an eye on the market. They really understand their customer behavior changes, and they've been looking at ways to be better. You know, chatbots are not the be all and end all. They are, if done well, they're the heavy lifter of a good customer service team. They really support the customer service team, allow the customer service team to focus on the more difficult, more challenging issues that customers have. And also, where a chatbot is really clever is at dealing with those quick and simple questions. And we're seeing that with my latest big client. Is that we were working it out yesterday. If we manage to hit our target, we'll be saving them an additional 15 hours a week on top of the already hours we're saving. So, you know, customer service people are expensive to hire, they're expensive to train, and they're very expensive to keep. So if you want to keep them longer, make their job more interesting, let them deal with the complicated queries, not the simple repetitive stuff that bores everybody.
Yep, totally agree. What is the most important thing for chatbots these days in this SME, SMB vertical?
So the issue as a conversational designer, and I'm sure all conversational designers have this, is often there's no really good conversational data prior to you starting the project. So you're often second guessing, making assumptions of what the customer needs, and you'll never be 100% correct. It's just the way it is. So for me, it's the biggest challenge is looking for where you can get the early wins. So for instance, you may have, I don't know, one I was speaking to recently, which is like a horse racing course. So a horse racing course, lots of very similar questions about, you know, pre-race, race day, post-race, but also they will often do other things. They're a venue, they're a conferencing suite, they do lots of other things. So to launch a chatbot that covers all of those different categories in one foul swoop is really difficult. So what you should be focusing on is where can you have the biggest impact and where can you get the chatbot actually live and collecting data. And of course, it would be kind of pre-sale, pre-race day conversations, and that's where you focus. So yeah, I think that is where, when you're trying to sell, because not only do I build them, I have to sell them to businesses. So when you're trying to sell, you're looking for where you can have the biggest impact, the quickest, to show that the chatbot can do the heavy lifting, that it really can support the growth of the business. It really can be an asset to a customer service team. And once you have that limited small impact, it really opens the eyes for the customers. So if anybody who's selling conversational design or chatbots, or they do the whole package as I do, look for the quick wins. Don't go in quoting tens of thousands of pounds to do everything and sell, oversell, because often you haven't got the conversational data. Some businesses, they can be turning over tens of millions, and actually customer service is being handled by the marketing team. They don't want to do that. They would much rather that the chatbot did the heavy lifting and they could deal with the detailed queries.
So that's what you as Jim Rowe, what your company is dealing with, is focusing on today?
Yeah, so we do a wide variety of businesses. I'm very lucky. I can pick and choose my clients. I love, my real forte is kind of startups or businesses that are experiencing a lot of growth. I'm currently exploring a new market, which is franchises. I think franchisors, the one that own all of the assets, they have got an opportunity. They don't see it yet, but I need to educate them to collect conversational data from all of their franchisees. So if they are in control of the chatbot, they get all of that customer conversational data, which means they can improve their service, they can better service customers, and they can grow their franchise, whatever that franchise might be. The obvious one, I think, is franchise gyms. You look at some of those like Anytime Fitness, 4,500 around the world. Now, a lot of them are starting to see the benefits of having chatbots on their websites, and they'll always have a Facebook business page, and they may even have Instagram now. But if you had the franchisor, very top of the tree, providing almost the chatbot to the franchises, because 80% of the questions are the same. What time are you open? What time do you close? How much does it cost? Can I pause my membership? How much is membership? It's the same questions. And then there'll be 20% will be location specific. What classes are you going on? Where's the car park? It's simple questions. Now, if the franchisor could control that, there is a mass. You imagine if you had, 1,000 sites all having 200 conversations a week. It's a lot of conversational data that franchise can use. So yeah, I'm a bit passionate about franchises. I think it's a growing area. Franchises are always growing, and I think they've been reluctant or unaware of the benefits that chatbots can bring, and conversational design can sell more of their product or service.
Yeah, probably because they're thinking about, like more B2C instead of like B2F, B to the franchisee. Yeah,
exactly. And, they could, sell that product straight to the franchises, but they're getting all of the customer data. They're controlling it. They're very much in control of the tone and the pace of the conversation and the brand. And what's happening now is a lot of these franchises are launching their own chatbots, but they're very off-brand. And how do they control that? It's really difficult for them.
Can you recall a funny or an awkward, amazing experience you had with one of your chatbots?
I always say that no chatbot survives first contact, and it's true. And customers get very scared when we launch a chatbot. I get very scared when you launch a chatbot because you never know what somebody's going to ask. And I do remember one of my first ever big projects where we watched live a conversation happening, and effectively the woman said, "I love you" at the end of the conversation to the chatbot, because it had delivered such a fantastic service, which was like blew everybody away and actually helped sell more of the product. So you can't complain. But I get a real joy from just seeing customers have a great experience. I recently posted on LinkedIn and asked whether customers saying thank you at the end of a conversation with a robot was a good measure of its success. And I would say it's a soft measure, but it's really warming. You know, I look at the data for some of my bigger clients, and the amount of times that people, although they know it's a chatbot, they're told at the very outset of the conversation that they're not dealing with a human. The amount of times that people will say thank you is, that's the heartwarming bit, you know. And I know that happens with customer service teams because, you know, many years ago I worked in customer service. So I think for me, that is the big driver. If I can show clients that customers not only get the results they're looking for, often not the result they want, you know, for instance, if they're asking for a refund and there's a no refund policy, that can be quite a tricky conversation to roboticize. But if I can show customers that my clients, that their customers are not only getting through a conversation without any human input, but then also thanking for that conversation, that's the real dream for me.
You talked about like franchise vertical going like to be one of the next things. Do you have any other forecast for the future of chatbots, of conversational AI?
Yes. So, you know what, I don't like to forecast too far into the future because, you know, I've watched the chatbot market go like this. But, you know, I keep a very keen eye on what's happening around AI, machine learning and chatbots. You know, I've got my Google Alerts set up. I read all the news. I see all the acquisitions. I see all the funding. I just get the feeling now, looking at what's happening, it's kind of two ends of the market. You've got the low end, very small business who's launching an Instagram chatbot, a Facebook chatbot. Then you've got the big end where your big banks, your big customer service teams are launching chatbots. And then there's a bit of a void in the middle. That void is starting to close now. And that's where the real market is in the middle of those two. You know, there are people that are really enjoy working with small businesses, startups, you know, the mum and pop businesses. You've got the people, you know, your big businesses that will actually have conversational design teams. And then you've got the middle, which is the middle where I kind of operate in, who won't have their own conversational design teams or even the skills, but want someone that can hold a hand through a project and take them through it. At my heart, I'm a project manager really who loves conversational design. So that middle bit now is starting to move, which I think is quite exciting. I look at the big social media giants and how they're focusing in on chatbots. You know, we knew Instagram was coming, it's arrived. For most businesses, it's pretty pointless. I think if you're e-commerce, if you think about the social media giants and then you look at all of the big businesses that are getting on this now, I saw one the other day, I can't remember what it was called, but it was an amazing bit of software that was able to save conversational data from 3 or 6 months back and then recall that back into a conversation, which could be really, really exciting. So yeah, I won't make too many predictions. I expect growth, but I don't expect it to be meteoric growth. It takes time to change to educate business leaders, and they really know nothing.
All right, it was very fascinating with a lot of great insights. Jim Rowe, aka Jim Robot, pleasure to talk with you. Thank you very much.
Thanks for inviting me on, and I look forward to speaking to you again, and hopefully I'll get to Israel in the not too distant future and we'll do lunch.
All right, and for everybody watching, go check out CoCoHub.ai, where you and every viewer, listener, or any just random person on the street can build a bot with a human touch in video, voice, and text, easily and without any coding knowledge. Thank you for listening. Bye-bye. Take care.